The job at hand, even bigger. It's pole day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the 2010 500. Cars are lined up for qualifying and a chance to compete in the greatest spectacle in racing. There's a brand new format this year, which puts even more pressure, more stress on the world's fastest drivers. There will be 2 segments of qualifying. First, to establish the fastest 24, and then the pole shootout between 4:30 and 6 o'clock Eastern Time for the top 9 that will determine the pole sitter for this year's 500-mile race. Cars are ready, the fans are ready, we're ready. It's time now to turn them loose. We go down to Brian Barnhart, the president of competition for the IZOD IndyCar Series, and his instructions to A.J. Foyt IV.
All right, Anthony, you're going to be our first one here today, going right up on the racetrack. AJ will be at the north end. Green flag will be second time by. 4 laps to completion, be the first attempt in the car. If you take the green flag, you get 3 attempts today on it. You got the same track you just had this morning. You know what you got. Go give me 4 good ones. Let's put her in here, buddy. Ready when you are, O.
And now the engine fires on the car that will be driven by A.J. Foyt IV, owned by his grandfather, the 4-time Indy 500 winner, A.J. Foyt. The sponsorship is ABC, and away he goes. Our first qualifier today on what was supposed to be a very hot day, but it's only 73 degrees and cloudy at the moment. There are new qualifying rules this year, and here they are. It's going to be a full day of activity. The first 24 positions will be established between now and 4 o'clock with 3 attempts per car. At 4 o'clock, the track closes and will reopen at 4:30 until 6 o'clock. And at that time, the top 9 cars must requalify, and we will determine the pole sitter in that session. The pole sitter will receive $175,000, $100,000 from Peak and $75,000 from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And very importantly, they will receive points this year. We also will be on tomorrow for Bump Day. That begins at 12 o'clock noon. Positions 25 through 33 will be filled at that time. Now, this first segment here that will determine the top 24 starters, there will be no sandbagging during this session, guys, because a very important thing there is what you see, pit selection, because the pit selection for the 500-mile race will be determined by the speed you turn in the first segment between now and 4 o'clock.
You're right, and very important. So that 1 through 24, that's going to determine the quickest car right there is going to determine that. And there's the green flag for Anthony Foyt.
And Bob, you mentioned the temperatures. The forecast, as you said, war for much higher temperatures. So someone like A.J. Foyt IV, who got the first pick in the draw, this is a great advantage if the sun were to come out. Right now, these are ideal conditions for speed.
And what's also ideal is to be the first one out is they just finished up on track an hour ago. So the conditions are very similar to when you were practicing this morning versus going out at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Foyt's best speed of the month was turned in earlier today at 225.055 miles an hour, and his first lap is 224.112. Boy, there's just all kinds of question marks, all kinds of decisions that will have to be made in the next 5 hours. Going to be incredible.
I'd be pretty happy with the 224.1.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to get you, I think, into that top 24 barrier as we kind of project as the day goes along. Anthony hasn't been in the car since Texas last year. I asked him, you know, how's it feel? You know, he's kind of quiet, soft-spoken in that Texas drawl that he has. He's like, no big deal.
Over the winter, he married the daughter of Jim Irsay, the owner of the Indianapolis Colts. As a matter of fact, A.J. Foyt IV is now listed as a scout for the Colts. And the second lap is just a tick of the watch slower at 224.041.
Whoa! That's a little bit of oil dust, oil sweep that they put down. Takuma Sato had a big crash earlier this morning in turn number 2, and the reason you see dust, no one else has been up there.
And he's
during
using
practice.
And coming through 3 there, he's using all the track. And it's one thing to let the car have its head and let it run free, but not so free where it's drifting right up to the wall like that.
Third lap for A.J. Foyt, the fourth, 2:23.767. Foyt is being helped this year by Owen Snyder, who was the chief mechanic for the win that Al Unser Jr. had in 1992 and Eddie Cheever's win in 1998.
And Robbie, you mentioned 224 is about the area you want to be to make the top 24. I think that's right on the edge. So as he's drifting now into 223s, they could be slightly nervous that it could take another attempt to be sure you're solidly in that top 24.
Oh, I think he's okay. The average speed of it is going to be fine.
Checkered flag for Foyt, and lap number 4 is 223.798, a little bit quicker than the third lap. There is Grandpa Foyt. 223.929 is the average speed for our first qualifier, A.J. Foyt the fourth. Jack Arute is in our IZOD Pit Performance Center.
And guys, historically, the Indy 500 qualifications has really been mentally tough. But with this new qualifying format, it's doubly mentally tough. Here's what I want to try and have you think about. How tough is it mentally for a driver with a car that is balanced but is not a lot of downforce? Take an apple and try to balance it on the edge of a knife and do that for 3 minutes. I've been unable to do it so far. Lindy Thaxton is standing by with more on pole day.
Jack, he's a 3-time pole sitter, a 3-time winner in car number 3. But he wants some 4s starting today. Helio Castroneves was fastest on Fast Friday, but his fast lap was just 1 lap. He said he could not hold it for 3 more. He said it's just so challenging pushing that hard. We'll see what he can do today, but Robbie, bottom line, car's good, and he feels good.
And we're used to seeing ladies at the Indianapolis 500. Danica Patrick, Sarah Fisher, Milka Duno, but we also have something special this year, an unprecedented 5 ladies trying to make it to the Indianapolis 500. Anna Beatrice, Simona Di Silvestro. Anna Beatrice, of course, the first lady to ever win a Firestone Indy Lights victory back in 2008 at Nashville. And you have Simona Di Silvestro, who's impressed everyone in the series so far this year. She actually has experience here at Indy, not on the oval, but on the road course. She performed in the Formula BMW series. She actually podiumed in that series, so she has experience here as well, but not on the oval, Bob Jenkins.
Thank you, Robbie. And the second car out to qualify is Paul Tracy. However, he is going to come in without taking the green flag so that there is not a attempt charge against that car. You have to take the green flag to get an attempt. And there's Barry Green, with whom he has been reunited. Tracy and Green were, of course, together when Paul thinks he won the Indianapolis 500 back in 2002.
And the fact they didn't even make an attempt and get up to speed, they're not just posturing. They were planning to go out there and roll that down. So something definitely happened.
You could tell by Barry Green's body language that that was not what they wanted. It wasn't like they were just rolling out trying some kind of strategy. They wanted to take advantage of that early pick, and obviously something has gone amiss.
So we'll check on what exactly happened to Paul Tracy. Welcome to pole day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're going to be wide open all day.
We can break out. From Indianapolis,
the Indianapolis 500, an American tradition with over a century of pursuits. 33 cars running wide open at over 200 miles an hour. A 500-mile chase toward racing immortality.
Little Al wins by just a few tenths of a second.
It's pole day at the Brickyard, where fractions of seconds can last an eternity, and emotions rev high for drivers trying to become an early Indy favorite.
Helio is on the pole.
Last year, Helio Castroneves won the Indy 500 from the pole.
You guys don't understand.
Can he recapture the same magic this month and join Foyt, Unser, and Mears as the only drivers with 4 victories? Danica Patrick has authored exciting moments here in search of her lifelong dream. This year, she's one of 5 women trying to make the field. 2 sons will drive for fathers. Marco Andretti trying to win the race that amazingly escaped his father Michael's grasp.
Can a teenager win in Indianapolis?
And Graham Rahal, who will be racing for his father Bobby for the first time. Some moments will never fade. especially for two teammates, Scott Dixon and Dario Franchitti, longing for their second victory here.
Tune up the bagpipes.
Today, all that matters is high speed and fast times. Drivers must run wide open to become pole sitter for the 2010 Indianapolis 500.